Alright, what's up guys? Patrick Mack in pursuit of truth. Once again, I'm caught with my pants down because I'm on the Eastern Hemisphere. Q has dropped some posts. We're going to get to it. There are a couple other things in the news. Not going to get way deep into some things, but we are going to have some fun. So grab yourself a cup of coffee or whatever you got to do. And let's get to it. First things first. You are looking at LTB music, hip-hop, riding, jazz, funk, and chill-hop beats. It would not be fair for me to jam these jammy jams and not give them some credit. Again, don't know these guys, but we got some good hip-hop jams. Now, here we are over on my channel. Just want to let you know, turn your attention to these last two. These are from yesterday. As you can see, I've labeled part 1 and part 2. That's simply because I've had to break these videos up. You can see that's about 8.5 minutes. This is about 9 minutes. YouTube's giving me problems if I make a video close to 20 minutes long. I don't like making long videos anyway, but I'm sorry that I got to break them up. So you let me know what you like. You like the longer videos or you want me to keep them short. I try to keep them as concise as possible, but that's just what it is. And I'm going to try and fix that problem this week. Hopefully that will help me download some longer videos. Let's get right to Q. Q. What did you do, Q? We got a security test. 221. We have a second security test. And now we are at hashtag Internet Bill of Rights. Now, I've sent you the PDF on Internet Bill of Rights. And if you haven't found that, just go to this. You'll find a ton of links here. And we're actually going to go to the Twitter page instead of the actual Bill of Rights. This takes you to Internet Bill of Rights at Janine Morgan. So shout out to Janine Morgan. And then you can find lots of stuff here. Now, there must be a reason why Q is directing us to the Twitter page. And it must be just maybe he's wanting us to make some noise or whatever. But as you can see, people are already breaking down some Q posts. So get on over there and tell people what you think. And do me a favor, tell me what you think, because there's lots to chew on. Anyway, that's that. Now, next post. Oh, this is fun. Now, let's see what these times are. Let's start with 2:20. Actually, I guess this one was first. My apologies. There's this picture here. Now, I've got this picture open in another... Oh, so I'm so sorry. There it is. Okay. Now, this is a picture. My guess is easily Hong Kong, and it shouldn't be hard to tell there. You can start to see some Chinese. I'll try and blow it up as much as I can, but you can see Chinese writing here. That could be any Hong Kong street, but it does look like Hong Kong to me. I was actually just in Hong Kong this late last year, so just a few months ago. All right, so Hong Kong. Now, let's go back to the Q post because Q says, oh, sorry, I'm going to bring it down. Shall we play a game? Find Snowden. Identify +1. Happy hunting. So obviously he wants us to find Snowden in this picture. Now I'd like to share with you what I found in this picture, and please go look for it yourself. Personally, I'm going to zoom right in on it if I can. Boom, right where you see my cursor, and right where you see here. These look like possibly a 1+1. Wearing backpacks that look like they might be functional. Everyone else looks pretty normal here. These people look like they might be equipped, if you know what I mean. Now I'd like to turn you on to something else that I found. And I might get completely, there's a lot of Qs, a lot of Anons on this that are breaking things down. So everyone's probably got some brilliant ideas. Actually, after my own video, I'm going to start watching others to see what they think. But I'd like to turn your attention over here. If you can see my cursor where I'm making the circle, we're going to look at this building right here. I see two things that look interesting to me. Right here where I'm zooming in. And if you see again where I'm circling here, I see a long cylindrical object with two ladders. And then over here, I don't know if that's a body. I don't know if that's an object, but it's something, right? It's something. And then there's lots of cables and antennas and stuff like that. Now that could, this is, I mean, that's China. You know, that's not unusual to see. But anyway, again, covered long cylindrical object, what looks to be, could be, almost looks to me like a first aid pack or some sort of pack, and two ladders. Now we're gonna move over across the street down to this one. Here I see a propped up, covered, long cylindrical object and a ladder. Could be completely innocuous, don't know. Over here, I see another ladder. Now, these ladders are I mean, it's China. People are just trying to get up onto these things. They keep their air conditioners up here. So ladders aren't necessarily, that unusual. Let's bring it back out. Sorry about the weird scrolling. I'm trying to talk and think about this at the same time. So, just something that I noticed. Tell me what you think. Maybe it's kind of a Where's Waldo thing. But those were my guesses. Anyway, this is more than likely Hong Kong. Let's get back to Cube. Now, we've got our security test. We've got that. Now he's talking to Snowden. And he's saying we are going live minus 24, which I would assume means in less than 24 hours. Comb your hair, meaning we are watching. This is all on video, and in reference to a lot of the other Q posts that we've had, don't be surprised if we start finding videos of things. I think that's the next level of this stage. Regarding IBOR, Internet Bill of Rights, this scares, excuse me, this scares them more than anything. Loss of control. Use logic. Nothing to do with AT&T. Well, if you're just new to this, AT&T is sort of the company that's pushing the Internet Bill of Rights. And to be fair to AT&T, they're the reason we've been able to keep any of this alternative media on. Okay, so I will say that. In regards to Internet Bill of Rights, I really don't want to debate that in this video. I am curious what some of you other guys think. Personally, I'm not yet sure. Q's pushing it, but just because Q's saying it doesn't mean I'm believing it either. But I don't know. I understand the need, and yet I'm not really sure how it affects our own Bill of Rights. So I'm not really arguing for it either way. All I can say is I'm just not sure. Maybe I'm just not aware of the details. But if you're interested in that, again, he references us to not only the Internet Bill of Rights, but to the Twitter page. So maybe this is sort of where he wants us to start using our hive mind mentality. Moving on. We're over here from right to left. How did Snowden clear customs immigration in Hong Kong after the public release? Why wouldn't he first travel to final destination prior to public release? Well, he's probably establishing something, and Snowden is a geek, so he's establishing some sort of, I don't know, probably some sort of network. If wanted by the U.S. government, would he be cleared to travel? Probably not. Who provided support to escape? Who was the U.S. after during this time? Well, who was the U.S. after during this time? Julian Assange. Have you learned and eliminated L6? Use logic. Q. Okay, well, clearing customs and immigration in Hong Kong after the public release, I would assume means that he no longer was in possession of something. That's about all I got on that. All right. Now we're here at 358. Who controls social media? Well, lots of people control. Well, a few, but I would say the Rothschilds, the Rupert Murdochs, you know these. They're the same cast of characters. Who performs in a circus? The CIA does. Who wrote the code to embed and censor across multiple platforms? Well, that could have been Edward Snowden. I tend to think it might be Eric Schmidt. I'm not real good with this stuff, but I would assume it's going to be one of those guys. Why Russia? Why China? These are nuclear powers. That's why I would assume. Why Hong Kong? Hong Kong. Hong Kong is China, but it's not China. I don't know how to explain that unless you've been there. But China is mainland China. It's a little bit different than, say, Hong Kong or Taiwan. Even Shanghai is a little bit different than China. But Hong Kong has long kind of tried to distance themselves from China. So that would be my guess. Another guess would be, and this is just from personal experience, if you're looking to get a travel visa, into countries like China, sometimes it can be really difficult. I myself have been denied at times. Now, I'm not a nefarious creature at all, but I have been. And the way I circumvented that was by going to Hong Kong. You could also go to the island of Macau and sometimes have easier access. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're doing it with malintent or anything like that. It's just that Hong Kong tends to be a little bit easier sometimes. All right, I'm going to leave this with you, and then I'm going to start another video for the last couple. Why did ES himself, Eric Schmidt, arrange a C-link in multiple countries? What are C-links? C-links are basically their own, it's kind of like its own network. Companies do this for all sorts of reasons. Certain big companies want to have their own link to kind of, you know, safeguard their communications. If you know, you had the Sony hack a few years back ago, they had something like a C-link that might have you know, really helped stop that from happening. So that's kind of why people do C-links. And of course, I would assume Eric Schmidt knows a thing about C-links. All right, guys, we got a couple more, and there's a lot to cover right here. I'll see you in part 2. So sorry, I gotta make these short. I'll try and make them better in the future, like I explained earlier. Catch me on part 2. All right.